It's a quiet evening as Jake moves into his new apartment carrying boxes into a dimly lit living room. The space is old but cozy, though it has a slightly unsettling air. In one corner sits a dusty old TV on a rickety table. Curious, Jake plugs it in while unpacking. When he switches it on, it only shows static. He frowns and flips through the channels, but nothing changes. Static on every channel. With a shrug, he switches it off and returns to unpacking. That night, Jake lies in bed, the apartment silent save for faint creaks. Suddenly, a harsh static sound pierces the quiet. Jake sits up, startled, and notices the TV has turned itself on. Annoyed, he gets up to turn it off, muttering about faulty electronics. As he heads back to bed, the TV switches on again, the static crackling louder this time. Frustrated, Jake turns back to the TV and pauses. In the flickering static, faint shapes are moving, like shadows shifting just beneath the surface. Jake cautiously steps closer, peering into the screen. One of the shadows seems to stop and look directly at him. His breath catches, and he stumbles back, yanking the plug from the wall. The screen goes black, but as he retreats to bed, faint whispers seem to linger in the silence. Over the next few days, strange occurrences escalate. Jake notices objects in his apartment subtly shifting when he's not looking. The faint hum of static persists, even with the TV unplugged. One evening, while eating dinner, Jake glances at the blank TV screen and freezes. His reflection is smiling back at him, though his own face remains neutral. Panicking, he covers the screen with a blanket and resolves to throw the TV out the next morning. That night, Jake is jolted awake by loud crackling. He turns to see the TV, still covered by the blanket, blaring static. The blanket is being sucked into the screen, revealing distorted, shadowy figures pressing against the glass. They're moving, trying to break through. Jake watches in horror as one of the figures pushes its hand out of the screen, its form flickering and glitching like static brought to life. Jake scrambles to his feet, attempting to flee, but the figures emerge fully, forming human-like shapes that radiate malice. The whispers grow louder, overlapping, echoing through the room. "Stay with us, don't leave, you belong here now." Jake's panicked breathing turns to screams as the figures surround him. The TV screen begins to show an image of Jake sitting motionless on the couch, staring blankly at the camera. The next morning, the apartment is eerily silent. Jake is now trapped inside the static, sitting lifelessly, his eyes void of expression. The TV powers off by itself, leaving the room in total darkness.